Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video, and today we're going to be looking at the brand new LR YAMCHA, who is going to be the next local reward in the upcoming JP World Tournament. Now already I know people on Global are going to be asking, when is LR YAMCHA coming to Global? It probably won't be for a while, because they usually do stick to these World Tournament awards for that actually numbered World Tournament, right? So whatever number World Tournament is upcoming for JP that LR YAMCHA will release on, he will release on that one for Global. JP had LRTN as a local reward for about 1 year, so I'm assuming that that will be the case for Global as well, where they'll have LRTN as a local reward for about 1 year. So right away, we have a really good rotation for LR YAMCHA, but there is an issue, as you guys can see, and this would be the issue with this LR YAMCHA, and that is Ki. Ki will be an issue for him because he does not give himself Ki from his passive at all. So we would have situations like this where, you know, he can get his 12 Ki super, and he's at 1.1 million. Okay, that's a bit lower than I would have thought for a rotation with God Topo and the Supreme Opie of Time. Both, you know, God Topo and the Supreme Kai of Time give buffs. You know, Topo is at 35%, and the Supreme Kai of Time, she gives 20% with a 70% chance to give another 20% attack. Topo also did add a slight modifier to LR YAMCHA's attack stat right there with his super attack. On his super attack, he gives a little bit of an attack buff. So, only 1.1 right there. I mean, I guess that is good, again, considering he's a completely free-to-play option, right? Now, this YAMCHA, he gives himself 20,000 attack and defense on super attack. So, as long as you get a super attack, his defense should be solid, and his offensive firepower should also be pretty solid. But here's the thing with him. If you get him to an 18 Ki super, he then gets an additional 10,000 attack and defense. So at that point, he's going to be able to hit a lot harder. Here, we're going to have it right here, where YAMCHA is going to get that 18 Ki super. Now, we have him paired up with God Topo because they share, what is the link? Rival Duo is the attack link that YAMCHA has. 1.3 million. Okay, again, for me, you know, free-to-play LRs around 1 million, stuff like that, is good enough for me. I do love that super attack, though. Right out of his first fight with Goku from Dragon Ball. So good. Plus, they also did sprinkle a little bit of his Dragon Ball Fighters level 3 into there as well. Because, you know, in his Fighters level 3, when he does his super attack, it kind of does like that close-up, the zoom-in of his face. And boom, that's exactly what we're looking at right there, where it kind of gives us that kind of zoom in on YAMCHA's face, you know. So, not a complete, like, it's not like they completely copy-pasted from Fighters, but they did take some elements to make it look a little better in here in Dokkan, which I really like. It's like LR Cell's super attack, right? Where, you know, they took some elements of Cell's level 3 super in Fighters, and then they added it to, you know, the LR Cell here in Dokkan, which is pretty cool. Alright, so YAMCHA will share a few links with this Kid Goku at the end right there, so this should be another turn where he's going to work pretty good. I'm going to be very curious to see if they eventually do give us like a proper Dragon Ball category, right? Because I'm still seeing a lot of people think that LR Kid Goku has a Dragon Ball like saga category, and that's not what his leader skill is. His leader skill is for characters that are hunting the Dragon Balls, not like the whole of Dragon Ball, like, you know, as a whole. So I think this YAMCHA, he'll be pretty solid once he actually gets on that category, because, you know, all of those Dragon Ball characters, they share a lot of links, right? Like, they've got the Dragon Ball attack link, they have the Dragon Ball key link, so I think a lot of them are going to work pretty good on that actual category team. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, who the leader will be for that team, if it is a true category. You know, I honestly hope that they would give us, like, LR King Piccolo or LR, you know, Kid Goku defeating King Piccolo, and then that would be a true Dragon Ball category lead. I think that would be a good idea. I think that would be very refreshing to have, like, a top tier, like, category leader skill you know, from units of that era. Because look at what LR Goku and Frieza have, where they have 177% to all stats for their leader skill. I feel like you could give the Dragon, like, make LR King Piccolo an unfeatured LR and give him 200% to Dragon Ball Saga. Boom. That's not broken, it's not OP. It's a summonable LR, so it's going to be tough to get. But, you know, the 200% will really make some of these Dragon Ball units look pretty damn good. I think that would be really cool. I think that's a really good idea. And if that would happen, this Yamcha, I think, could be very, very effective on that team, especially if other units on the team have Shattering the Limit, which, honestly, a lot of the Dragon Ball, you know, TURs and LRs have got. Like, a lot of them have Shattering the Limit. So, you know, I think that's going to be a very solid link across the board. Many of those Dragon Ball characters are going to share a lot of links. Like, that's just how it's going to be. And again, as you guys can see, like, we're able to get Yamcha's 12 key consistently, but the 18 key, it's just not as consistent as we would like. That is the issue with sometimes some of these LRs that do not give themselves key. You know, LR Goku and Frieza, they're the hardest hitting unit in the game, so you're naturally going to run like Android 17 or Tien next to them to further increase their damage, as well as further increase the amount of key they get. Plus, they have fantastic key links, the LR Goku and Frieza card. But this Yamcha, you know, you're not really going to be running him on main rotation, because the only really team that you can run him on is something like this right here, you know, a hero team, because he only has two categories. He has the World Tournament category, and he is also on the his own category, the Duo category. That, I think, is what's going to be the most interesting to see, is how well his category team is going to run, because it's only a 100% buff to all of the units on that duos or team category. But here's the thing, it has all of those top tier LRs on it. LR Gogeta, LR Super Vegito, LR Goku Black, like, you know, the Ginyu Force, LR Cell, all of those units are on that same category. So it's going to be a very interesting sort of LR category to go ahead and run. I can't wait to get this Yamcha from the World Tournament, awaken him, and start testing out that team against some of the harder events to see how it'll fare. Because even though it'll only get a 100% buff from the leader skill, I think the units on that team are just way too good. Like, you're still going to be able to easily clear everything, like, with ease with that team. So I'm definitely excited, because, you know, you could do a rotation of LR Gogeta and Vegito, and then on the other rotation, you could do LR Goku Black plus TUR Goku Black. Like, that's a pretty damn good team. I'm just gonna throw that out there. So I like that, you know, they gave us a lot of excitement with this Yamcha, with, like, the new leader skill, right? That's, to me, like, one of the really, really interesting things about him, is how effective is that team going to be. It'll be hard to say, obviously, until I run it. But I think it should be pretty decent for anyone that happens to have a lot of LRs, right? So, and all in all, from what we've seen here, I'm okay with Yamcha. Looks like as long as you get a super attack, you know, and he is, provided he's rainbowed, of course, he will be around or above a 1 million attack set, which, again, for a free-to-play LR, I think is good. LR Super Saiyan Vegeta is, you know, somewhere in there. You know, he gets, you know, past 1 million, and then he's able to get a couple additionals, and people love him. So I would say this LR Yamcha is a very solid unit. He's not like a game breaker, right? Like, he's not going to be the best thing ever, but considering he's a free-to-play card, I think he's very, very valuable. Now, Super Physical is the easiest Super Battle Road stage, too, like, pretty much in existence. But I'm sure this Yamcha could probably help out a little bit over there. Well, I don't know. You would need a lot of, like, you got to get him, like, with a lot of dupes and stuff, though. So it's going to take a couple World Tournaments. That's the only thing, is you're only going to be able to get 2 copies of Yamcha max per World Tournament. So no one is going to have this Yamcha rainbowed for, you know, many, many months. Like, you know, it's going to take 3 World Tournaments, and that's if you get first local twice. Otherwise, it could take more World Tournaments to get all the copies of him and actually be able to rainbow him. So we'll see. Ooh, pretty good attack set right there. What was that, 1.6? Not bad by Yamcha. I like this Yamcha card. There is another gimmick they gave him that is not really, I think, going to be an issue most of the time. If you fight an enemy unit, like an enemy Peppy Gal's unit, right? So let's say we're fighting a stage and Caulifla is one of the enemies. Yamcha will be stunned. Like, he won't be able to attack at all. I think that's a fun little gimmick. A nod to Yamcha from early Dragon Ball. But it's not something that's actually going to cause an issue, because it's actually pretty rare to find Peppy Gal's, like, you know, enemies in stages, right? Like the hardest Dokkan event bosses, there's not really very many Peppy Gal units sprinkled around. Like, I don't know, maybe if Bojack ever got a Dokkan Fest, he would have, you know, Zangia in one of the stages, but that's not an issue that's going to hold that Yamcha card back. So, alright guys, we're going ahead and wrapping up here. I'm pretty impressed with Yamcha, I gotta say. I can't wait to rainbow him. I can't wait to grind for the World Tournament. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll catch y'all next time.